Hey, you guys. Hey, happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Mission for Mental Health. I am your host, Jackie Robinson. Hey, I am so excited to be here. I hate when I have to skip a week because I miss talking to y'all on Wednesdays because it's like so much going on. It's a lot I like to share. It's a lot I like to talk about. And I just haven't been, I skipped that little week just to get that little break so I can get my little mind right. But I think I want to go back to, doing this thing like every week because I enjoy having y'all. You know how sometimes you put your glasses on that little cricket like for no reason? That's what's going on. And I do apologize to my Instagram family. All out of the blue, my other computer shut down. So we were not able to go live. Maybe at some point we can. I don't know. But I have a great show for you guys today. I have a special guest coming on. I see her in the back. I see her husband in the background right now. So I'm gonna give her a second because I think she wanted to change and have better lighting. So I'm just gonna hold off before I bring her on and just chat with y'all for a hot second and just do a check-in and see how everybody's doing. How's everybody's week coming along? Everybody doing well? Things going great? Any gripes or complaints or anything? Nothing? Nothing? I don't blame y'all. I wouldn't complain either. I mean, God is good and life be life, and regardless, as long as we on this side of the dirt, life is going life. Like it is going to life all the time. So I'm going to bring my guests on. Oh, no, they still getting it together. I can see them back there. I see them back there. So yeah, but life be life and y'all. And I'm so glad that you guys, give me some of your time on Wednesday, 1 hour of your time so we can talk about this mental health thing. And just maneuver through this life. And I hope some of the information that I give you and some of the guests that I bring on, I hope you guys are, able to get something from them. I'm going to try to share this link a little bit more because let's see. So we're going to share this link. Okay, I think she's a little bit ready now. I think she's coming along. Her whole lighting and everything has changed. It's so funny because I can see people in the back. I can see what y'all can't see. Give me a little hand clap for that. Give me a little look. I go live, baby. I don't pre-record anything. I go straight from the hip. And sometimes it is what it is. And that's what happens when you go live. Things be happening. And it's okay. It is what it is. And I'm kind of proud of myself to be able to go live. A lot of people like to record and they can edit and blank. I don't blank out nothing, boo. I go straight for the gusto. I go straight for the gusto. All right. So I have a special guest coming on this evening. I know that you all are going to love her. Hold on one second. There we go. I know you guys are going to love her. She has an amazing story to share, and I'm so happy that she reached out to me. And she's been in the background for quite a time. So I'm going to bring her onto the stage. Coming to the stage, as we like to say, coming to the stage is my good girlfriend, Kelli Wood. Man, oh, look at you, girl. You look totally different.
Right. Thanks to my husband.
Thanks to your husband. Yes.
Mhm.
Totally different. But I've
Well,
been knowing Kelli for so I hear him back there. Shout out to you. Whoop whoop. Shout out to Mr. Wood.
so much, so
Shout
much.
out to Pastor Wood back there. I've been knowing Kelli for a long time, y'all. I've been knowing Kelli for a long time. We've had some great conversations over the years, and she has a whole lot. I mean, like she got a lot going on. She been lifing like for real. Like she a first lady. First,
Listen,
hey, first lady.
cannot.
But she's a little under the weather, y'all. So don't judge her because she
Yeah,
really has a real sweet, soft voice. You
I
cannot tell today.
know.
She texted me today talking about I sound like Wheezy
I
from the Jeff.
do.
And she
Do.
does.
I sound like her. I do. I
But
sound just like her.
I commend you for coming on anyway.
Yes, absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
commend you for coming on anyway. So I do appreciate it. So I'm gonna read her bio and then we're gonna get into why we're here. So let me pull this thing up. So she says Kelli is a content expert, facilitator, and leader in the field of child maltreatment prevention, intervention, and advocacy. So y'all know she's an advocate. You already know she's down for the baby. She fights for babies. She's been married for 21 years. Woo! That's a long time. She has 2 children. Her husband is a pastor of the Movement Center in Gastonia, North Carolina. Kelli's determination is to help women rediscover their voices, repurpose their trauma, and repossess their yes. And that's what I titled the show, Repossess Their Yes, because I do want you to share at some point on how you can get people to repossess their yes. Okay. And what does all that mean? And so we're going to talk about that. But I put a call out to Facebook land, to the Book of All Faces, and I was looking for people who are willing to come on and share their stories. And you reached out.
Yeah.
You
I
reached out.
did.
I was kind of shocked.
Ah,
I was shocked, but very appreciative. I was shocked with everyone who reached out who wanted to kind of share a little bit about their journey and explain, what's going on in their lives and how you have been able to manage and overcome and get through the experiences that you're having. So what made you reach out to me? We'll start with that.
um, I think well, one, when you said that you didn't have anyone scheduled, I was like, well, I love you. We can talk about anything. I feel like we can talk about anything. And I didn't want you to be without someone. And so I was like, I can stand in and didn't necessarily know what what you needed from the guests, but was definitely more than happy to assist you. Again, we have a long history together. And yeah, we could have talked about anything. So that was the reason. And then when we talked further, and you shared kind of the framework of the podcast, and I
Mhm.
shared with you what I think would be kind of complimentary for the podcast. You confirmed that, yeah, like this is exactly what the audience would be looking for, and this is exactly what the foundation of the podcast is for. So
Yes.
I was like, yep, I'll give you my yes and be committed to the yes. Even though I sound like Wheezy, I was like, I am going to be committed to my yes that I gave my friend.
Yes, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Hold on one second. So, see if it'll go on the live on Instagram. It's still not coming up. No? Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna have to disregard Instagram this week. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, so I have my little helper but back there, my support team.
Mhm,
I have to have a team with this stuff, with this
mhm.
technology stuff. And okay, just don't make any noise. My team said that they're leaving.
Mine was just in here
Yeah,
harassing me.
team said that they're leaving. So when we started to talk, you started to share with me a story about your dad.
Hmm.
you want to go into that and what really uh happened with your journey with him and how that affected you and all that stuff.
Yeah, so last year, so I am a daddy's girl to heart, and my father was my everything. And I, he again was just my everything. And he had taken a turn in his health several years ago. I had been assisting as much as I could. My father was still in Atlanta. We, of course,
Mhm.
moved to Charlotte. And so when his health changed and turned, I had been going back and forth, really trying to make sure that everything was solidified and everything was
Right.
well. He had someone living with him who I did not think was best. Um, I did not approve. I didn't like her. Um, and
What was it about her that made you kind of, so your dad is here in Atlanta, you and
Mhm,
your family are in Charlotte, and you're
mhm,
coming back and forth to, make sure he's good,
mhm,
but he's taking on a housemate,
mhm,
a female.
mhm,
And what was it, what things was she doing, or what was it in your soul that made you feel
mhm.
like, I really just don't like her? Because you like
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah, well, I like I like most of the people that we like together, like that we
Right.
have an affinity for. But yeah, like and my father isn't he always had people staying with him, so that wasn't an issue of someone
Oh,
living with
okay.
him. He always opened his home to people who needed it. But she brought an element into his home that was unhealthy, unsafe. Um, I believe that there were substances in his home. I believe that, like when I went to his house one weekend, my husband and I were about to travel to Aruba, so we were flying out of Atlanta. So just wanted to stop by his house, and there were these other people in addition to her. And I'm like, who are you, and why are you in my dad's house? So she just brought an element with her
Right.
that just seemed really unsafe. I didn't like just what she brought in, like his health just continued to go down.
Right.
Um, and so I didn't trust her. And but at some point, and I communicated with him. Like I called him one morning, I was on my way to work and I just bawled and I was like, Daddy, I don't trust her. I don't like her.
Mhm.
Um, I don't like what your health appears to be like. Like I don't like it. And if anything happens, I kind of won't know. And, he acknowledged how I felt, but as an adult, like he listened, but to me, it was like, this is what I'm choosing.
Was
So,
she going to be more like a caregiver for him, or was she just
mhm.
somebody that he just took in because he has a habit of taking in people?
I think that's what it initially was. Like he had a habit of taking in people, and then it just turned. Now, there were, she did provide a level of care for him, but then that level of care still seemed that it was unhealthy. Like she would
Right.
still go get his medication. And at one point, I had drafted a power of attorney for him, and then he signed it, and that was probably like 2017. And then he just started falling more. He was having head injuries. He was then
Mm.
diagnosed with early onset of dementia. Um,
Mhm.
and then, so I needed to, talk to his doctors. Like, I'm the kind of daughter that I'm just like, listen, I need to know. I need to talk to all your doctors. I need to hear everything. I need to know it all. So I'm that kind of daughter. And so there, it just became more, I'm not going to say secretive, but wasn't able to learn as much as I needed to. And then I went back after he had fallen another time. I went back and had taken my mom with me as well
Mhm.
because they've known each other since they were 12, so still really good friends. And we both went and wanted to do another power of attorney. And at that point, He said that he had already there was already a power of attorney with this young lady. Now this young lady was
Oh.
significantly much younger. Yeah, so just yeah, like there were concerns about her children missing, and some child had died, just all this mysterious stuff. So he had done a power of attorney with her, and he was like, I'm comfortable with her. She's taking care of me, things like that. And so I had to, and relinquish what I knew best based upon his desire and what he said. And I reached out, to APS. I reached out to many people, but
When you say
again,
APS,
oh,
for
sorry,
people who don't know.
Adult Protective Services, to see what I could do, and pretty much everyone said the same thing. Unless he is diagnosed with being cognitively incapable of making a decision, the decision that he makes is going to be honored.
So you're in
So,
a battle between your dad and this lady, and you, and
mhm,
of course you're his daughter.
mhm,
He's your dad. You're a daddy's girl, so you
mhm.
guys are very close. But then he decided to entrust a stranger. What do
Yeah.
you think, that she's
Oh, yeah.
manipulative, or it's a
I think
goal?
power and control. Yeah. I mean, my dad was extremely smart. Engineer all his life. He was the kind of person that was always, um, you always think about safety. He was always like, you need to have money in your pocket, because you never know, always keep something, regardless of who you're going with, always make sure that you have an alternative plan to get home if you need to. Always be able to call. Like, he was a map person. Like, you need to know how to get wherever you need to go. Never be
Right.
dependent
Don't
on
be
somebody
dependent.
else. Pretty much
Correct.
is what. And so I saw that change. Like, um he became dependent. Like, it was just like this power, like this manipulation, power and control that was just kind of like out of nowhere, slowly, incrementally. And then last year I get a call, um January 11th, I think, or January 12th. It was kind of like still in the morning, either between the 11th and the 12th of January, from this young lady, who said that he had yet fallen again, and he had been in the hospital, and he had a cardiac arrest, and they couldn't resuscitate him. So he died, and he died alone in the hospital. And yeah, I no
Devastating.
words. Yeah, no
Devastating.
words. Yeah, devastated.
Devastating, because I'm sure that if you had, um the power of attorney,
Mhm,
he also probably made her the,
mhm.
what do you call it, at the house, the medical,
She was, yeah, and if you wouldn't have said it, then I would have known it.
gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah,
You're
um,
kind of like the power of attorney to
yeah,
make
it
decisions
is
at the hospital.
medically. Yep,
The,
yes, it is.
directive, the
Mhm.
medical
Yeah,
director.
directive. Yep, all of that. And I, I it was just, yeah, it was devastating. He had made her the directive, kind of with everything. And I was left with just lots of questions, um, just lots of questions, and uh, just an emptiness that I can't
Absolutely.
really describe. And yeah, and so still just devastated.
So devastating. So you get this phone call. She calls and tells you that he is fallen. He's went into cardiac arrest, and he passed away in the
Mhm,
hospital with
mhm.
nobody there. She wasn't even there.
She wasn't there.
She wasn't there.
Mm-mm. She
Mm,
wasn't there. I
mm.
think that she had, and like, yeah, like she would have like these parties at the house, and like record them. Yeah, all kind of stuff. Like, so, um, and I was the one who would, but when he had become really sick, I was planning to move him to Charlotte. Like, he had fallen, and I was like, I'm moving you. Like, I'm gonna find a place for you to be. I have a half sister. who's 15 years younger than me, and she wasn't in agreement with him moving to Charlotte. She said that she wanted him to remain close because she's still in Atlanta. She was like, I'll help take care of him. Um, so my plan to move him closer while he still was, competent and had some kind of functionality, I wasn't able to do it. And so because of the power of attorney that was signed over to the young lady, and because
Mhm.
of my half sister, I wasn't able to get him moved. And so that was what I wanted, and looking back at, was there something else that I could have done? And kind of all those things
I
that
don't think
you.
there was. Someone recently reached out to me and they're going through the same thing with their father. He is refusing help
Mhm.
and she knows he needs it.
Yeah.
But one thing people really don't understand when it comes to adults, they're not like children.
Right.
Even though sometimes they start
Mhm.
turning into children, it's not like defects where you can send someone out in the home, and
Right.
if they're not being treated right in the home, that you can remove them. There's no foster care for old people. It
Right.
don't
Right. Right.
exist.
Right.
They
Right.
move, take them out and move them into somebody else's house.
Right.
So it
Right.
it needs to be, but
It needs to be.
it needs to be. But
Yes.
there isn't there are no laws in place that allow adult children to just come take their parents and put them where they feel like they want them to go. If
Right.
their parent is in their right mind and can still talk and say yes, no,
Yeah.
I don't want, all I need to know is do a small cognitive test.
Right.
The test is not even that big. It's not even that serious. Um, it's a small cognitive test, and if they can pass that, and they easily can, it's basically your name, your date of birth, and do you know where you are?
Yeah.
Um, Things like that. Then they're not gonna move them away. They're not gonna
Mhm.
force them to have services that they want to refuse.
Right.
So there is nothing, when it comes to adults. And that's why I wanted to bring you on so you can share your own personal
Mhm.
story so people know uh, when you're dealing with adults
Mhm.
that can still, our parents, I should say, that can still um, make their own decisions and think for themselves and things like that. I don't know if I'm thinking maybe we should look into these types of things while they're very young, not
Mm.
very young, but maybe like 60s,
Mhm.
or they're getting ready to retire.
Right.
And even though you're out still, going to Biloxi and Cherokee
Yeah.
Casino and going on cruises and out living your best life, maybe these are conversations we should have prior to, so that all
Yep.
this is already in place.
Right. I agree. I agree. And I just never thought that these would be conversations that I knew. But I agree with you to be proactive and have these conversations while you are also still have a good relationship with your parent, um, and to have something established ahead of time so that it can be
Yeah,
documented, it's filed, and there's no kind of question or
correct.
debating later. This is what we agreed to. There's already document. We already have something that's signed. This is what's going to happen. I agree.
Yeah. So, what happened with like his property? Did she fight you in probate court or anything like that, or was she given anything?
He apparently turned his house over to her, so she's still in his home. Mhm. So, um, I have, all of his, a lot of, if not all of his, really important things that I wanted. Like he was in a Navy, so I wanted his Navy uniform. Pictures, my father loved taking pictures, so I wanted pictures, I wanted photographs. I wanted like important documents like that. So I have all of those. My half sister got those things for me. Um, so I have those. And yeah, probate was because my half sister wasn't in agreement initially, probate didn't happen. So yeah, and then, I still have got to be present. You still have to be present. As I think that was one of the biggest things, is not feeling like I was grieving properly.
Correct.
Um, because like you said, my husband is a pastor, and I was also over a second location that we had, and in the midst of trying to grieve, that location that I was over had a fire. So I had like two huge losses, like within 2 months' time. Uh, and then, yeah, and then still having to be present for other
Correct.
people.
Because that's what
Uh,
I was getting ready to ask next.
yeah.
Like, so how does I was a daddy's girl too, but I was still kind of young when my father died.
Mhm.
Um, and really didn't have no control over anything because my mama still, they were still married. Um, but how do you how do you function? Um, your husband is a pastor, you're a
Mhm.
mother,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
work in a very stressful field, actually. Looking out for these children is stressful.
Mhm.
This line of work that you do. How do you what does your brain do through all this? How do you just kind of suck it in and just keep
Mhm.
moving, or do you what do we do?
Yeah, I will tell you. So just my background, although I'm not conducting forensic interviews as much as I used to in my current role as a director, I still am. But all the years, my training taught me how to compartmentalize easily. It does it almost organically. And one of the things that I found that was scary was, because when you're in the moment, when you're in those interviews, you have to you're taught to be not stoic, but to remain present in those moments, not show emotion, kind of suppress your emotion to get the job done, to complete the
Right.
job, which
Do
is
you want to
getting.
explain what a forensic interview
Oh,
is?
yeah. So it's a fact finding interview that's done in order to elicit details for me from children who may have experienced or witnessed a crime. The work that Detective Robinson and I did was, child maltreatment. So anything from sexual abuse, physical abuse, commercial sexual exploitation, labor trafficking, sextortion, kind of just everything. People didn't come to us for anything happy.
Right.
So, to gather those details, either, homicide, anything that a
Yep.
child could
Even
have witnessed.
witnesses, children
Yeah,
witnesses. Mm-hmm.
anything they could have witnessed or experienced. So, and to this date, like I've done over 3,000 forensic
A
interviews.
lot.
And yeah, and one of the things that I learned is that we were taught in our training is really to compartmentalize. Like you've got to be in there in order to
Absolutely.
be
You can't be
successful.
in there like, "Ooh,"
No, right. Oh
you
my God.
know?
And breaking down. And the kid is like, they're trying to console you,
Yeah.
no.
Right.
You've learned your body, you've learned, you were taught, you were, the training that we had was to compartmentalize that pain and those emotions so that you can again get the job done. You need
Correct.
to elicit these details for the purpose of the investigation. So I didn't do it well. My body was so used to organically compartmentalizing that as soon as I would feel something like the pain in my heart, my body would immediately organically do what it has done for years, 18 years of doing this, of compartmentalizing. So when something would come to the surface and I needed to grieve, I needed to acknowledge it, I needed to feel it and be in a moment and sit in that pain, my body organically was like, no, that's not what we do. And just it, and so I felt like I almost felt crazy because sometimes I would be in the store, and I would see men with little girls, and I just automatically assumed that, father and daughter. And I was thinking, oh my God, I'm about to lose it in the store because I miss my dad so much. And I
Mhm.
could feel it like coming to the surface, but my
Absolutely.
body would immediately shut it down.
Yeah,
And
especially we're
so,
in public. We
yeah.
definitely not doing this here.
Oh, we're not doing this here, you know, and but you know, your mind, the body needs to heal. And one of the things that I learned to do, especially when, you know, in interviews, because they can be utilized in court, there are cameras in those rooms. And so everything you do is recorded. So it's kind of like you're used to eyes being on you as a forensic
Mm,
interviewer. You're used to people watching you at all times. And so
right.
you learn how to do, like, you learn how to do. And for 18 years, I've learned how to do, not necessarily how to be. And I've been used to the eyes being on me and having to fulfill tasks, even in the midst of hurting, and putting that pain in to the side and not even acknowledging it. And so I've learned how to be kind of in this public stage of eyes looking at me and my life being recorded. So, but the daughter in me needed the cameras to go off,
Yeah.
needed the eyes to be shut, and I needed to be able to acknowledge the daughter in me who missed my dad,
Right.
um, but didn't know how to, because again, I have a church full of people who still need me to
Still
be
watching you. You the first lady.
right. I need you to be, you know, or I need you to do, I need you to, you know, and I mean, there were people who, of course, understood that, but then there's still the expectation, like, you just continue to push on. Like, I still have got to go to work. There's still kids who need, my kids also still need to be taken care of. Work still has to go on. And there are all these compartments um all around me, but the heartache of a daughter, you know, was kind of suppressed in the priority of the first lady pastor, mother, uh director, was all kind of coming to the top of my list, of my task, and I didn't grieve well.
Did you
I
end up
didn't.
having a like a breakdown or anything? What caused it to what was the icebreaker? It's like this is like post traumatic, right? Post
Yeah,
traumatic stress is what they call this.
yeah.
So what is the breakdown? Does it or have it? Has there been a breakdown? Or are you still just trying to
I think I'm still trying to. There are moments like there. Well, there's a couple of times. I'm trying to learn. There's a couple of things I've tried to learn to, when I feel it, to sit in the moment and feel it and acknowledge it and allow those tears to come. But one of the things that I am grateful for, because my question, I was so angry, Detective Robinson, because I kept thinking, you know, Daddy, why didn't you choose me? You know, why did you
Mm,
choose this girl? Why did you choose this life? And you didn't have to, you know, why didn't you choose me? And I remember kind of just
mm,
having conversations with God, like, I miss my daddy, and I don't understand why I wasn't worthy enough for him to choose to stay. And I just remember asking, you know, God, like, why, why? And I remember having a dream, and I'm just so thankful, that, I have a God that I can ask hard questions to, and that he is not angry or upset or offended for these hard
right.
questions. Um, and I remember having a dream, and I remember it was my dad, and it was like a dark hospital room, and it was just kind of like gloomy gray. It was me and my mom and him, and I remember him being like in a hospital room, and he didn't say anything, but I could feel like the pain that he was experiencing, and he never said anything. And I kind of felt in the dream that he wanted to leave, but he was so sad to leave me and my mom. Now, again, he and my mom have not, they weren't married for years, but they
Right.
grew up together, and so
Mhm.
still had a close relationship.
Friendship. Mhm.
Yeah. So, and then I remember another dream, or maybe it was kind of related to this. I remember seeing my father like outside, like in this field, and he was like on hands and knees, and one of his arms was outstretched to heaven, and his mouth was open, like as if he was in agony, as if he was begging to go home, like begging to leave because he was in such agony, as if to say, who do I answer? Do I answer you as a daughter to keep him here? Or do I answer him because he's in misery to bring him home? And so I was grateful to know that at least in that part, that it wasn't that he didn't not choose me and that he probably would have stayed. But he was just in so much pain.
Mhm.
So that's been helping me. But I remember one of the questions, I have two therapists. I have a white male and I have a black female. I love both of them because they both are like, girl, get your life together. Like, I love therapists like that. Like, they are both just like really challenging. Um, and I remember the male asking me, kind of like, what do you want after he left, like after the death of my father? He was like, what do you want? And I think I've named like all these things that I wanted. And then he asked me such a great question. He was like, if you never get any of those things, what are you
What
willing
would you
to
do? Mhm.
what are you willing to accept?
Yeah.
You get none of those. What are you willing to accept? And my heart kind of sank because I didn't think of an alternative. But if I never get it, I've got to live, right? Like, I've got to keep going and I've got to believe every day. And that's the repossess my yes, right? Like, I've got to give a yes every day,
Mm.
and I've got to keep going every day, and I've got to say yes to the task and what I believe that he would want me to do every day, as
Do
hard
you
as it may be.
do you think that, in the beginning you described your father as an engineer,
Mm,
as the one who taught you about don't be, make sure you always got your money on you, don't you depend on anybody. Basically, I'm your man. Don't depend
mm,
on no other man. I got you. But I'm gonna teach you these skills that you need so when you're not with me, you
mm.
can be strong.
Yeah.
You don't have to sell no booty for nothing. You
Listen,
don't have
listen,
you don't have to accept less for nothing
nothing,
because I'm
right.
gonna show you how to get it. Do you think that there's a possibility? And I'm just thinking,
Mhm,
your dad seemed like he was a very strong individual,
mhm,
a man's man, like a very
mhm,
strong individual.
mhm,
He's developing dementia, which
mhm,
is not going to allow him to be as strong as he was. Do
mhm.
you think that he wanted to shield that from you and you
Yeah,
not see him
yeah,
decline? Because the
yeah,
only vision you know of him is this man. You don't know
yeah,
the man that's falling. You don't know the man that, needs help. And he probably kind of felt like this chick over here, she's not the best. She ain't she
mhm,
not my ex-wife.
mhm.
Um, but I can sort of depend on her to care for me, right?
Yeah,
And not
yeah,
really be too attached to her to, I can allow her to see things I can't let my daughters see.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, and I didn't consider that, but I think that you are probably right. Um, I remember when the first time he had a stroke, I was pregnant. I think it was my second pregnancy, and I didn't know that he had a stroke. And he had been in the hospital for a while, and he wasn't dating. He wasn't with this young lady, um, but he had a stroke, and someone called me from the hospital. He had
Kelly,
been.
can you see us? Can you
Yeah,
see?
I can see you.
She's
What happened?
can you see me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it kind of my screen went.
Oh, oh no. I can see you, but you're stuck. Oh no. Your screen is frozen. Oh no. Here we go. I am going to text you, Detective Robinson, if you can hear me. Um, let's see. You're back. Um, so clearly I think that she's coming back. Detective Robinson is coming back. But I hadn't considered I hadn't considered that. Um, but I do think that with him being as strong as he was, like I said, when I was pregnant with my second uh, son and he was in a hospital for several days, I got a call that he had been in a hospital and I was angry. I was furious. And he had a friend. Um, let's see. This is Detective Robinson, everybody calling me. Hi.
I don't believe this, girl. I just went and got some new internet today
Okay.
from Comcast.
Okay.
It's just frozen like frozen.
Okay.
Can you see anything on the screen?
I can't, but I just kept talking.
Okay, I can hear you. I don't want to completely come out. There we go.
There we go.
Y'all, and they made me sign a contract, y'all. Oh my goodness, I've had the most issues with internet doing this podcast, but doing these podcasts. But anyway, I was just mentioning that,
Yeah.
your dad maybe not wanting you to see him
Yeah.
decline.
Yeah. And I was sharing, like, when I was pregnant with my second, and my second son, he had been in the hospital. He was not with her, but he had been in the hospital for several days. He had had a stroke, and someone called. A friend of his called and was like, "Yeah, he didn't want me to tell you that he was in the hospital, but he's been here for 5 days." And I remember I was at Choa still. Yeah, I was at Choa still. Girl, left Choa as fast as I could get there. And I remember going to the hospital, and I was so angry. And I was, he was still having difficulty with his speech. And I remember saying, "Daddy, why didn't you call me?" And I remember him pointing at my stomach, and he was like, then he was trying to say, "Because you were pregnant."
Pregnant.
Yeah. And I remember telling his friend at the time, it was another woman who was his age. I really liked her too, but I laid into her too. I was like, "Let me tell you, don't you ever in your life not call me. I don't care what he said. I don't care what he told you. I could care less what he told you. Don't you ever in your life not call me and my daddy's in the hospital. What he gonna do?" I'm like, what's he gonna do to you? He ain't gonna do nothing to you. I don't care. You call me immediately. So I think, and feeling that he had put me in a situation where I think he felt like he was adding stress to me. And maybe, parents feel that way, but I'm honored, he's my dad. Um, he's my father, and what I can do, I will do. And so, but I hadn't considered it probably, was difficult. Um, so I don't know if I've come to my point of my meltdown. I think having others I think talking more about it instead of
Absolutely.
instead
I
of
always say
keeping.
healing is in the conversations.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Healing is
Yeah.
in the conversation.
Hmm.
Put it in chat.
Yeah.
Healing is in the conversation. And it is.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So you're still dealing with the grief, of course.
Hmm.
How or what have you done? I heard you say you got two therapists. You ain't need
Hmm.
one, but you need two
Hmm.
therapists. Have you has that helped at all or no? Or where are we now within it? What made you decide to get the therapist? What made
Oh,
you have to go get the therapist?
well, I had already had had already had a therapist for years, just doing the work that we do. I needed a therapist for vicarious trauma.
Right.
Um, so I had a therapist that was the Black therapist that I had, and then I got a male kind of more recently, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, just because I also wanted a different perspective. Just
Right.
the work of ministry is difficult. So I had a therapist, specifically a Christian counselor, but I so love him because he is definitely really, really hard. Like, he just challenges really. So I wanted for both of those, so that I can be present and be well, um, and how to manage all the expectations of my life and then ministry as well. So
How did your husband play a role with this, and how did this experience affect him in any kind of way? Or I'm sure he's probably feeling helpless.
mm, I don't. I think he was so great. He knew that I was a daddy's girl. He knew it when I was dating him. And so when I remember us dating, and something that you said made me chuckle. I remember him saying, don't you, take any money from your dad while we're married. You don't take any money from him. I'm supposed to be your cover now. And I'm thinking, bless your heart. Listen,
Say, bless
I
your
ain't gonna
heart.
be over here broke. Listen, I'm gonna get money from my dad. Bless your heart that you gonna think that I'm not. Um, but I remember after the same day that he passed, I was just so angry, and I was like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go to Atlanta. I don't want to do anything. And I just remember him just kind of being around, and he was just like, I will respect your wishes. He was like, but I think that you're really just angry right now. And so he was just really being really understanding.
Mhm.
He kind of shut his world down a little bit. I always say that he's out there saving the whales, because he's always somewhere in the world doing something.
Well,
But he
he's
shut
a
his world
pastor.
down. Listen, yes, a musician, a graphic artist, like he's got 20,000 things going on. So he
Yeah,
always has something. Songwriter, all the things, producer, all the things. Anyway, so he shut his world down. He shut his world down, for me.
that's
And
awesome.
not to say that again.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and he did it. Not that he didn't have to say anything, just being there. Um, and I think um, when the second year, and I heard this from others who had lost their parents, that the second year was harder. And I was thinking, there's no way. Like, this is too difficult the first time. And I remember this past January, of course, would have been the second year. And I remember coming up, December was coming to an end and coming close to January. And I was thinking, oh God, it is worse, because it solidifies what the loss that I had the year before.
Yeah.
And so it was the most difficult, and I remember thinking, "I don't wanna go to watch night. I don't wanna do anything. I don't wanna be in front of people. I don't wanna go and be anything. I just wanna cry. I just want to lament. I just wanna just feel." But you're still also trying to support him, um, and not disappoint him, as well, but realizing that that was a pressure I was putting on myself, like he
Yeah.
wasn't putting that on me, and just allowing me the time that I need. And when I say that I need it, that he's giving it without judgment or um, anything. Again, it
Mhm.
was in my mind, like, oh God, if I'm not at church on Sunday, then he's going to be upset, or he's going to feel disappointed. And he's been great.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, I titled the show "Repurpose Your Yes."
Hmm.
Where did that come from, and what does that mean? Where did that come from? How did you think about that?
Yeah.
What how are we doing this?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I think one of the things that I love, like I put in my bio, one of the things that I love to do as a woman is help other women to relocate their voices. I think life will, and somehow uh, we will lose our voice somewhere. And I love helping women to find their voice again. And not that we've left it. I think one of the things that I shared in my book and that I wrote to myself is uh, I've, lost my voice uh, sometimes, and not really realizing where I lost it. So if you don't know where you lost it, how do you go to look for it? Where do you go to look
Right.
for it? And helping women to find their voice, and to repurpose their trauma. Uh, and it's for a reason, but also to repossess your yes and your why, to know why you're doing what you're doing. Why are you getting up every day? I have a saying, that Target is hiring. You've got to know why you are doing the work that you're doing. The work that we do and we've done is really hard. And if you don't know why you got out of bed every day, there may be women who are providing caretaking to other family members, aging parents,
Yeah.
or to children who may have special needs. Um, or you're in rebuilding a life from any kind of loss. It could be, DV, loss of a marriage, loss of losing a child, anything like that. But you got to know why. You got to want to know why you got to get up every morning. You need to know your why you put on clothes every day. You got to know why it's worth getting out of that bed,
Absolutely.
and not just opening your eyes and not being angry that you didn't die in your sleep. Why you still have life, why you are choosing to get up, why you are using your energy to leave the house every
Mhm.
day and to get up and be, for somebody else, even if you're being for you. Um,
Yes. My
Even,
God.
sometimes we are so focused, I would say me, and being for other people that we forget that sometimes we need to be for ourselves. So you need to know why, and you need to repossess it, repossess your why, repossess your yes. Um, and when you're doing that, sometimes you will find yourself again. You will find your voice once again, and you have got to take it back. You've got to, because sometimes we've given ourselves over to people, and you're looking at yourself like, I don't even know who I am. Like, who I am now, I don't recognize me,
Mhm.
because who I've given myself to is kind of, I'm scattered all over the place. But I need to repossess my yes and repossess my why, repossess my voice, and take it back. And so that is, again, why you get up every day. Yes, I'm getting up every day. Yes, I'm going to get up. Yes, I'm going to get out of this bed. Yes, I'm going to go in this bathroom and brush my teeth. Yes, I'm going to put on my clothes. Yes, I'm going to walk downstairs if that's all I can do. Yes, I'm going to do whatever I can do to keep myself going. Yes, I'm going to get in this car. Yes, and yes, I'm worthy. Yes, I'm worth it. Um,
Absolutely.
Yes, I'm valuable. Yes, I mean something to someone. Yes, my life is worth it. Yes, all that I have is still valuable to someone else. There is something that is in me, that is worth, that is valuable, that I need to and I can give to someone else, even if that someone else is me. So that's what I mean by the repossess the yes.
I love that. You got that preacher gene in you.
Oh my gosh.
It came out.
Oh.
It came out.
Uh,
Yeah, I felt that there. I
uh,
mean, and that is important, and we do tend to allow ourselves to get lost in the sauce. We get
mhm,
lost in the sauce of life and lost in the sauce of other people's lives, lost in the sauce with our kids and our
mhm,
jobs,
mhm,
and just trying to make it day to day. We get lost. And I put in
mhm,
there too, we get lost in the sauce. And
mhm,
we do have to figure out, not just as women, as people,
mhm,
that we um have to repossess our yes.
mhm.
We have to know why we do the things that we do.
Yeah,
Otherwise, you're just doing things.
right. Yeah,
You got to know
absolutely.
your purpose behind you're just doing stuff.
Mhm,
But you do
mhm.
need to know your purpose behind your why. You need to
Yeah,
know why you're doing what you're doing.
yep,
And is it beneficial to you or no?
right, right. And who does it help is someone else who it helps, the fractures and the broken pieces of our lives, are sometimes for someone else. Sometimes I
I
often
like that.
say, we sometimes need to create footprints in the sand or for someone else to know how to come out of uh, what we came out of, or we need to be able to create opportunities for others uh, who may need us, or need our yes and need our why.
Right.
And so we have got to be present for someone else who may be on the brink of a no, or maybe on the brink of just not wanting to go on anymore. And you
Oh
never
yeah.
know, your life, your yes can be the ignition for someone else. And so that's why I think it's so important for women, particularly. Girl, please come on. You are still here for a reason. Your pieces matter. And so your brokenness is not just to be broken, it's for someone else. So, yeah, come on. Let me help you birth this thing out. And it's important.
Yes. I like that. I think that's why you're here,
Mm,
because I don't ever know who wants to come on here. I
mhm,
just I tell people what I do, and then people start sharing.
mhm,
And I always feel that someone can learn from someone that I bring on here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think by you sharing your story about your dad, the grief, the
Mm-hmm.
hurt, we've I mean, I lost mine too. And I don't think, and to be honest, I never grieved over the loss of my dad. I just accepted that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I've never, I mean, I've cried from time to time because I miss my dad, but I never, I've never really just sat in any type of grief ever, really. Um, I think I've just learned how to just suppress it. It's not a good thing, but that's something I've learned how to
Mm-hmm.
do over the years. But
Mm-hmm.
but people go through grief. People, and there's no time frame for grief. There's
Right.
no all right, by Friday you got to be done. You
Right.
know,
Right.
there's no time, there's no limit. It comes and goes.
Right.
As time goes on, you learn to you might still feel hurt and pain, but you learn to tolerate. You know how to
Right.
tolerate it better so you can function throughout the day.
Right.
I think the broken pieces that you're experiencing, other people have experienced, but they also get to see you repossess your yes through this
Mm-hmm.
and can see, even if that grief comes from I think probably the most painful grief someone may experience is the loss of a child.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I don't know because I can't say the loss of your mom is is less than the loss
Right.
of a child. I don't know. But I'm assuming, and I can imagine maybe the grief of losing a child
Mm-hmm.
probably is one of the most painful
Mm-hmm.
experiences someone can have. But through that, you still can pick up your pieces and repurpose your yes and
Mm-hmm.
understand why
Right.
this grief was given
Mm-hmm.
to you.
Yeah.
And that grief was given to you so you can share with someone else so they can see she can get through it. Maybe I can too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, there is still, yeah, you just learn how to do it. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, like you still have someone needs your yes. Someone needs it.
Right.
Someone needs to know how to survive. Someone needs to know how to, and not just survive, because sometimes we're just surviving, but someone needs to know um, how to, and I can say thrive, but someone needs to know how to live.
How to
Um,
live, right?
yeah, how to live. I don't want to just survive. Someone is in need of your yes, and your yes may be exactly what someone else needs in order to have to trust one more time, to get up one more time. They need your yes. There's someone else who needs your yes, and so if that's all that someone may need, then why not? Why not give it to them?
Mhm.
And so if that's what is necessary for someone else, then let's be the yes for someone else who may not know how to verbalize it, or even
Absolutely.
what that looks like. I don't even like sometimes we deal with stuff, but I often say sometimes there are things that we deal with that there are no words to describe the pain. I don't even know how to form a yes in my mouth. So I may need your yes in order to push me to the place of life right now. I may need your yes to give me some type of resuscitation so that I can live. So
Absolutely.
yeah, someone needs your yes.
Someone needs your yes. I appreciate you. This is really good and informative. I appreciate you for reaching out to me.
Yeah.
Like I said, I say this every week, and I know everybody's like, she says this every week, but I really, y'all, I just wanted to be Wendy Williams. That's all
Yeah.
I wanted to do.
Listen,
I just wanted to come on here and
that's
be
it.
messy and talk about what's going on and, dirt and juicy gossip and things. That's all I ever wanted to do. I never wanted to talk about mental health. I
Mm,
did not want to do that, but God was like, He would come in my sleep and
mm,
tell me in my sleep, you're gonna talk about mental health. And I fight that thing as long as I
mhm.
could. And the next thing I know, I'm talking about mental health. Brittany says someone needs your eyes to resuscitate the life in them. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely, Brittany. So I do this because God told me I had to do it. And so
Yeah.
that's why this look, it's
Look, your yes. Look what your yes did. It created a platform. Look what your yes did. It created a platform for others to come on and to share and to promote and facilitate healing. So this
absolutely.
is what your yes did.
This is what my yes did. And so I do believe healing is in the conversation. And that is why I do this. And, I come on every other Wednesday, y'all. I said I was going to change it to every Wednesday because I miss it. I enjoy it. I enjoy doing this. Um, and I just feel that, any way that I can help people, that's
Mhm,
what God wanted me to do. And so that's what I'm going to do. So I always tell people every week, if you if you or someone is struggling or is in a crisis, help is available. You
mhm,
can call or text 988. You can do the chat at 988lifeline.org. You can also text hello to 741-741. Everything is anonymous. But I always want to put that out there because at the end of the day, y'all know I'm not a mental health professional. I'm just a mama who got life experiences. That's all I got. Got life experiences and created a platform for people to share
yeah,
these experiences so other people can see you thrive. When
yeah,
other people see you thrive, and they believe, I believe I can do it too. So I always want to put that information out there. I also tell everyone every week, please subscribe, like, and share this channel. Please subscribe, like, and share this channel.
mhm,
Tell a friend. That's the only way that we can assist in removing the stigma of mental health.
mhm.
And that is the one of the purposes of this show. So please subscribe, like, and share. Don't forget to do that. And if you would like to be a guest on the show, or if you know anyone that would like to be a guest on the show, you can reach out to me. I'm a white. You see how I got Kelli on here? All I do is put
Listen,
that thing on Facebook.
that's it.
So you can hit me up on all my social media platforms at Mission for Mental Health. And I appreciate you, Kelli. I appreciate you for coming on. I appreciate you for being personal and sharing your story with everyone to see. I appreciate you for bringing your guest on. I appreciate all of you for watching. And guess what? I will see you all next week. I will see you all the following week. You got any closing words?
No, just thank you for your yes. I think if I one of the things I shared with you when we talked about the conference that's coming up, my conference
Oh,
that's coming up.
absolutely. I forgot about that. Let me put that in
No, it's
too.
okay. Brittany Major, who is my goddaughter, I told her to get the website ready. Um, one of
Brittany,
the
can you put the website in the chat so I can post it?
mhm. Um, one of the things that I talked about was that Saturday, all the workshops that we're going to be having is September 12th to the 15th. But that Saturday, we'll be doing a lot of workshops, and some of them, one of the workshops is good grief and dealing with grief and how we
Good
don't do
grief.
it well. Yeah, good grief.
Good
Uh,
grief.
yeah. Several others are on there, but that was a big one, and I think it's related to this one. So, if there are women who would like to register and come in Charlotte, it's going to be great. It's so many people are coming. I'm grateful. A lot of women are coming from multiple parts of the country. So
Yeah, I
I'm
might be
really,
coming as well.
yeah,
Yeah,
I would
I
love to
might come as
have
well.
you there. I don't know why. Brittany, hopefully she'll put it up momentarily. But no, thank you for your yes. Thank you for asking me. And you just never know. Look at what God is doing through your life, through your yes, and how you are being utilized for someone else. And so you just never know. But I'm grateful. You look wonderful. It's so great to see you.
You
I
too.
love you tremendously. Thank you so much. Thank you for letting me come on, even though I sound like Wheezy. Um, yes, even though I sound like Wheezy. But thank you so, so very much.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure.
Um, oh, and the book. I'm sorry, if anyone is interested in the book too, I don't know if I can type it in here. I'll
You
maybe
can put it in the chat, or you can tell me the name and I can put it in the chat.
not. Okay. www dot Kelli, Kelli G Wood dot .org, or is it .com? Let's see. Oh yes, .com. So www.kelligwood.com.
This is for to register for the conference.
This is for the book, and then she said that she put the conference information in there, but unsure if you saw it. She said that she put it in there, but maybe you didn't see it.
I don't see it.
Okay. Well,
she might have put it on Facebook chat, and I don't get Facebook chats comments. I get in YouTube's comments.
She said she put it in YouTube.
She did. Oh, okay. Let me get it again just in case.
Okay. Let me give it to you. I am gonna pull it up so that it is eventcreate.com/the covering 24. I can text it to you too.
I think I got it right.
Okay.
It's them backslashes I might have messed up, but just let me know.
Okay. I just sent it to you.
To register. Oops.
I just sent you a text too.
All right. Y'all work with us because, I told y'all this is live. I do everything live. And so sometimes live is not perfect. Live is not perfect all the time.
Listen, not.
But that's what we do. We go live. There's no editing. There's none of that stuff there.
Yep. I think you got it.
So yes, I'm hoping that, hey, maybe some of us can carpool to the conference in September and come on down there and check it out and support. Y'all know it's Black Business Week. So is it Black Business Week? Something like that. It's Black Business something this week and next week. Get the book. Check out the book, y'all. Yeah. Check out the book. Y'all got to support. We have to support one another through this thing. So, Kelli, I appreciate you. I'm going to close out the show. Okay. Stay on. I'm going to move you I'm going to put you back in the room.
Okay.
Stay on the show. I'm going to close out the show and I'll be back in 1 second. Okay. Hold on 1 second. All right, y'all. I appreciate you guys. I will see you guys in not next week, but the week after. I appreciate you. Have a great week. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.